There's a version of loneliness that doesn't come from being alone. It comes from being surrounded by people, by voices, by endless content, and still feeling completely empty. It's the loneliness of scrolling through hundreds of lives at 3 in the morning, watching everyone else exist while you feel like you're disappearing. Some people spend 6, 7, even 8 hours a day on social media and can't explain why. They're not enjoying it. They're not connecting. They're just scrolling, filling a void that somehow gets deeper with every swipe. And here's what makes this so insidious. These platforms were designed to do exactly this. Every feature, every notification, every algorithmic choice was carefully engineered by teams of psychologists whose entire job is to keep you hooked. So, what is this doing to us? What have we lost? And why can't we seem to stop, even when we know it's making us miserable? Let's start with how this actually works. Social media operates on the same psychological principles as slot machines. When you pull down to refresh your feed, you're literally pulling a lever. Sometimes you win, something interesting gives you a hit of dopamine. Sometimes you lose, it's boring, nothing new. But that unpredictability, that variable reward schedule, is precisely what makes it addictive. Psychologists have known for decades that variable rewards create compulsive behavior. A rat that gets food randomly will press a lever obsessively, desperately. That's you. That's all of us. We're the rats, and our phone is the lever. Every notification is engineered to trigger anxiety. That little red badge isn't there to help you. It's there to create an itch in your mind that can only be scratched by opening the app. They've learned that keeping you slightly anxious, slightly unsatisfied, is far more profitable than making you happy. But let's talk about what this is actually costing us. We've lost the ability to be present. Think about the last time you sat with someone you love. How long before one of you reached for your phone? Before the person in front of you became less interesting than what might be happening on a screen? We're trading actual human connection for the simulation of it, having 17 shallow conversations across different platforms instead of one deep conversation with the person sitting next to us. And somehow we've convinced ourselves this counts as being social. But it doesn't feel social. It feels lonely, desperately, achingly lonely. The research is clear. The more time people spend on social media, the lonelier they feel. We're more connected than any humans in history, and we're lonelier than we've ever been. We've also lost our ability to just exist without input. Remember boredom? Just sitting with your thoughts? Those weren't wasted moments. That's when we processed experiences, when creativity emerged, when we figured out how we actually felt about things. Now the instant we feel bored, we fill it. Scroll, swipe, refresh. We're terrified of being alone with our own minds. And slowly, we've lost the ability to think deeply about anything. Our attention spans have shattered. We can't read a full article, can't watch a movie without checking our phones. We're skimming the surface of everything, never going deep enough to find meaning anywhere. Then there's the comparison trap. Social media has turned life into an endless game where you're comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. She's on vacation again. He got promoted. They're getting married. And you're scrolling through their perfect moments at 2 a.m. feeling like a failure. Your rational brain knows these are curated snapshots, carefully filtered, but the primitive part of your brain doesn't know the difference. It just knows you're falling behind, and it panics. Studies show social media use correlates directly with depression and anxiety. But here's the truly dark part. Feeling bad makes you scroll more. You're anxious, so you check for comfort. Checking makes you more anxious, so you check again. It's a loop, a trap. We've also lost our ability to disagree like humans. Social media platforms discovered that outrage drives engagement. Anger keeps people clicking. So the algorithm shows us things that make us angry, things that divide us, things that reduce complex issues to simple moral binaries. That person on the other side of the screen stops being fully human to us. They become a target, an enemy, and we've lost the ability to remember that they're someone's parent, someone's child, someone struggling just like we are. We're losing our shared reality too. Everyone lives in their own algorithmic bubble, fed information that confirms what they already believe. They call it personalization. It's really just polarization with better marketing. Misinformation spreads faster than truth because lies are more emotionally engaging, and once you're in an echo chamber, your beliefs become unshakable. Here's what this looks like in daily life. You wake up and before you're fully conscious, your hand reaches for your phone. You scroll through other people's lives before you've even started your own. You sit across from someone you love at breakfast and you're both scrolling. Together, but alone. You used to talk in the mornings. Now you're just two people trapped in different screens. At work, you can't focus. Your phone buzzes and 20 minutes disappear. Your attention has been fractured into pieces too small to build anything meaningful with. You meet a friend for lunch and you're not really there. You're thinking about the photo you'll post. Your friend is telling you something important and you're nodding but not listening. The moment of real connection retreats. Slowly, your friendship becomes as shallow as your feed. Evening comes and you scroll through your phone. Everyone seems happier, more successful, more loved. You know it's not real, but knowing doesn't help. The anxiety builds. You try to distract yourself. Different app. But instead of relief, you find rage. Some opinion so wrong you have to respond. An hour disappears into arguing with a stranger. Your heart is racing. You feel terrible. This is what passes for human interaction now. Night falls and you're still scrolling. You meant to go to bed hours ago, but you can't stop because stopping means being alone with your thoughts, and your thoughts are tired, anxious, critical. You think about your day. What did you accomplish? The memories are fuzzy. Hours disappeared into the scroll, and you have nothing to show for it except this vague sense of having wasted something precious. You remember when you used to read, when you used to have hobbies, when you used to create things instead of just consuming them. When did that person disappear? Here's what psychologists will tell you. This isn't your fault. You're not weak. These platforms were designed to exploit your vulnerabilities. They studied your psychology and built systems to trap you. But we're not more connected. We're more isolated. We're performing connection while experiencing profound loneliness. And we can't seem to stop, even when we know it's hurting us. Here's what you're actually missing while you're scrolling. You're missing your own life, the person who stopped trying to connect, the sunset you didn't see, the book you didn't read, the moment you didn't experience because you were too busy documenting it for an audience that isn't really watching. You're trading your actual existence for a performance of existence, and the performance is exhausting and empty and it never ends. So, what do you do? What can you do? You can start small. Turn off notifications, delete the apps, even just for a day. Put your phone in another room when you're with people you love. Be actually present. Let yourself be bored. Sit with it. Remember what it feels like to think without input, to exist without performing. Read something long. Create something. Remember what it feels like to make something instead of just consuming. And be gentle with yourself when you fail, because you will. You're fighting against billions of dollars of psychological engineering. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. You can leave. You can take back control. You can choose presence over performance, real connection over simulated connection. The people who matter will still be there. The moments that matter are happening right now, on the other side of your screen, in the real world, in the faces of the people you love. Your life is waiting for you. Your actual life, not the performed version. The real, messy, beautiful, complicated version of life. And it's worth more than any number of likes, worth more than any follower count, worth more than validation from strangers who don't actually know you. You are enough without the performance, without the metrics, without the constant visibility. You're enough just existing, just being, just living quietly in the real world, connected to real people. The scroll will always be there, infinite and demanding. You can't say the same about your life. Choose wisely.